Right, so yesterday we saw the first ever episode of this new, improved, revamped version of the room service diaries from Morning Combat duo Brian Campbell and Luke Thomas. And here is my honest review. Before I start, my name is Rahul J. Chan. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. So obviously, look, Brian Campbell and Luke Thomas are the Morning Combat duo. They have a show on YouTube called The Morning Combat, which airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the Room Service Diaries, the version 1 of Room Service Diaries, was just them two sitting in a hotel room while they're away in a different city covering a combat sports event, getting drunk, answering fan questions, and also taking a piss out of each other for about an hour. And if I'm honest with you, I didn't know that this revamp was in the works, which is a bit strange considering I follow both of them on social media. And like I say, I damn near watch every single episode. So either I just missed it or I'm not paying enough attention. But that's on me, right? So yesterday when I logged off work at about 5 o'clock, I reached for my phone like I normally do on a Monday, Wednesday or Friday to tune in to the Morning Combat. And I was surprised that the normal regular show was replaced by this new podcast. They had Glover Teixeira as the first ever guest, and I'm going to come to that in a bit. But genuinely, when I started watching, I was like, bloody hell, this is good. I was surprised at the level of quality of the production of this show. Let me explain, right? So let me just talk about the visuals to begin with. So the show actually starts with kind of a bit of behind the scenes footage of Glover Teixeira turning up, the three of them having a casual conversation with some of the production staff, and they take their seat on the set and start talking. The podcast begins, right? But the set is what I was first just kind of paying attention to, because to me, the set is probably one of the best sets that I've seen in an online podcast. Like, genuinely, it had a feel of an old, dirty kind of hotel room. It reminds me of The Simpsons a little bit with the way the TV is and stuff like that. They've got a coffee table in front of them with like, it looks like, at first I thought it was like old kind of cigarette butts, but I think they're actually just nuts. I'm actually just looking at it down here on the screen as I described to you guys. But the way they put that set together, it perfectly suits the spirit of the Morning Combat show, right? And with the first guest, Glover Teixeira, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Look, obviously, I'm a fan of Glover. I respect Glover. I followed his career since he joined the UFC. I knew of Glover for years before he joined the UFC, and they touched on that in the actual podcast. But he's a guy that I haven't really paid much attention to when he's doing interviews and things of that nature, right? So when they sat down with Glover and we got to see Glover's personality and not just him talking about an upcoming fight, it was informative and very interesting. Very interesting. Like Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, I probably got a biased opinion, right? Because they're up there as two of my favorite personalities that cover the sport of MMA. And I respect their opinions when they talk about the sport. Obviously, I don't agree with all of them, but more often than not, I find myself agreeing with them. Right, and the reason why I'm really excited about this particular podcast is because it's two genuine fans of the sport, not trying to get a headline, but just talking to a fighter, a very experienced fighter in Glover Teixeira, a UFC champion, and just getting to know him, finding out what his story is. It reminds me a little bit about there's a British podcast called Boxing Life Stories, and it's pissing me off because I've forgotten that Tris Dixon, I think his name is. He's a British boxing journalist, and he goes around and he interviews ex-fighters, current fighters, and he just goes through their life story. But he does it from the perspective of a fan, so he's not just touching the surface. He's digging deep into certain things that us as fans of said boxer are aware of. We just don't know all the details around it, and that's what I found in this podcast yesterday with Glover Teixeira, because for the longest time I remember hearing Joe Rogan talk about Glover Teixeira on the Joe Rogan Experience, and talking about how Glover Teixeira's got visa issues and that he's going to be a problem when he joins the UFC. I literally knew about this guy for years before he actually joined, and this is the first time I've heard what the issues were in all that time, and it's probably been about over 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to say, man, the production value, the look and feel of the show, and the fact that these two are presenting it, I feel like this will fast become one of my favorite MMA podcasts, you know. And I hope, personally, that this is a weekly thing, right? I hope it's not just every now and again they're gonna do a room service diary. I hope it's a weekly thing that replaces the Wednesday show, right? Because doing a show about current events in combat sports is difficult, right? If you're doing it 3 times a week, because on the Friday you can build up to the weekend's events. On the Monday you can react to what happened over the weekend before. But on the Wednesday, if nothing's happened since Monday, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? So if they break it up with this on every Wednesday, mate, I'm here for it, as they say. I'm here for it. And I suppose the final thing is, and this isn't a dig, right? Because I've made a couple of videos about Brendan Schaub in the past, but we're all aware that Morning Combat is part of the Showtime family, right? And Brendan Schaub was part of the Showtime family, and he had a show called Food Truck Diaries, and Brendan Schaub's left. And I don't know whether him leaving has made room for this show to come to fruition. But if it has, then I'm glad, right? Because, look, there's no way to say this without sounding like a hater, right? But the Food Truck Diaries as a concept is to me the worst idea for an interview of a person, because you're ordering food and you're sitting there talking while you're trying to eat a burger. So you like, already for me it's just grates on me, like hearing someone chew their food while they're trying to talk, right? And aside from that, look, man, let's be honest, Brendan Schaub isn't the best person at having a conversation, because 75% of the time he just talks on you. Talks at you. He'll ask a question and then he'll answer it in asking the question, and then pose it in a way that the person he's talking to is left in a position where they kind of can just agree with him or just say yes or no. Like, he needs a bit of training on that front, right? But these two guys, I feel like they're genuine fan. Well, it's not. I feel like they are genuine fans, right? And this show, to me, with Glover Teixeira yesterday, I feel like I know more about Glover Teixeira now because of watching it. And I think that this platform here, the Room Service Diaries, I feel like if you're a fighter, you want to get on there, right? You want to get on there, especially if you're a Bellator fighter, because Bellator is on the same platform as Morning Combat. And like, I for one, I don't know why they don't use that platform more than they currently do, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've got a video planned talking about Bellator and the improvements that I feel like they need to make, and this is genuinely a tool that they can use to get their fighters to sit down and talk to Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, and tell their story and give us a chance to get to know them, because to me that's important when you're trying to promote a fighter. And yeah, I'm literally top marks, 10 out of 10 from myself, from the battle camp, from Rahul Jayachan. I'm genuinely excited about seeing this show grow. Now, I don't really have anything to add to that, but just a bit of personal stuff, I suppose. Like, I feel kind of like I've been getting a bit bogged down in terms of thinking of stuff to make videos about, and it keeps revolving around. There's a fight every week, and it's like a carousel going round and round and round, and it's hard to find the right time to jump on. I've lost motivation and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I'm a fan. I don't know why I feel like I need to talk about events so much. I feel like it's better for me. I find this more enjoyable, talking about stuff that interests me and excites me. And I feel like I'm going to start focusing on making more videos of this kind of nature. Do you know what I mean? Just talking about stuff to do with MMA. It doesn't have to be an event. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to shut up now. That's all for me for now. Please, if you haven't checked it out yet, please do check it out. And obviously, if you're watching this video, then chances are you have checked it out, because let's face it, I'll probably get like 73 views on this if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky, right? But if you are that one person that watches this video that hasn't seen that, please just type in Morning Kombat with a K, Room Service Diaries, and you'll see a show with Luke Campbell, Brian Campbell, why do I keep messing the names up? Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, and Glover Teixeira have a very entertaining conversation for just over an hour. What a way to kill time. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I will catch you guys next time.